Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Om. Jai Shri Guru Guranga Riti Giridhari Raghav Ritmadhu Ki Jai Krishna Balaram Maharaj Jai Rupanuga Gudya Guru Varga Ki Jai Paramatitam Guru Padma Ki Jai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari. So to electronic audience, please send this new link to those who don't know, because the first broadcast was stopped. We're starting anyway. Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurave Gurachandraya Radhikaya Tadali Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Mavadivya Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Nityananda Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayane Kalokalmashamashaya Janopataye Namaha Ajanarambita Bhujo Kanakavadato Sankirtanaya Kapituru Kamalaya Taksham Vishwambara Javaro Jugadharma Pala Kriya Karo Karunavataram Kanakajaladagatro Nilashonab Janetro Mrigamadavaravalo Malati Kundamalo Taralataruna Vesho Nilapitam Varesho Smarani Britani Kunje Radhika Krishna Chandra Tavaivasmi Najivami Tvayavina Iti Gyaya Radhe Tvam Naimam Charanantike Sarvapanishado Gavo Dogdam Gopalanandana Parthavatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gitamritam Mahat Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. First of all, my unlimited Dandavat pranams to the lotus feet of Shila Gurudev, Nitya Krishna, Vishnupada Shrimad Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Shiksha Gurudev, Vishnupada Statra Satya Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, all Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, line of disciplic succession from Srila Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so all dear devotees and friends in East Sussex and West Sussex, no problem, Hare Krishna. So nice to see you. I wanted to see more of the residents, but they somehow or other did not come. So we are studying Bhagavad-gita these days because we are having problems with people in yoga studios and those who are interested in spirituality. So yoga means union. The English word to join has the same root as union. So yoga is the practical contact between Atma, soul, and Paramatma, super soul. You know, we are soul, but there is super soul, side by side. Have you heard about that? From Bhagavad? Okay, so it is very important class for. So super soul is the Lord in the heart. It's that same form of Vishnu, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, who is eternally residing as the eternal witness to all our activities, who is always helping us in achieving our desired goals, depending what they are, to those who are on spiritual path especially, he helps a lot. And varieties of material goals helps to achieve also. So the contact between the soul and and the super soul, all-pervading super soul, is called yoga. So that contact, after that contact, they lost the broadcast, I don't understand. It just lost me. I don't know that I have to go to root menu. So for many, many, many lifetimes we were traveling in this material world, and the super soul was fulfilling our desire. But finally, when we got disappointed in pecking the different fruits of that tree, the first bird is the soul, and the second bird is the super soul. Two birds on one tree. There's a Vedic example from Upanishads. And the first bird was pecking the sweet and bitter fruits of that tree, and the other soul was just observing and fulfilling the desires. Oh, you want bitter? Okay, get bitter. You want sweet? Okay, get sweet. What do you want? Oh, most welcome. The Supreme Lord fulfilling all desires. He will give a dog a bone. He will give a thief something behind the non-locked balcony. Some valuables are there. Fulfilling desires. So then a person starts to think about the Supreme. So when the person starts to think about the Supreme, then Super Soul stops being neutral. So there are four motives, four types of people come to the Supreme Lord. Chaturvidha bhajanti mam, Chaturvidha bhajanti mam, Sukritin Arjuna, Artha Vigarti Artharti, Jnani cha Bharatarshava. Krishna is saying to Arjuna in the 4th chapter, the four types of people come to me. Artha, those who are in trouble. Vigyarti, those who are inquisitive. Artharti, those who want material possession, material happiness. And finally, Jnanis, those who seek knowledge. So Jnanis are knowledge the best. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavanma prapadeti vasudeva sarvamati samahatma sudulabha. Jnani, seeking knowledge, finally will come to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Will come to the Personality of Godhead very, very quickly, because there's a very, very live interest in heart. So that Jnani, that knowledgeable person, is best. So thus the is purified. In the process, as we were discussing in chapters 2 and 3, you can see that in our channel we will give you the card. You can trace the previous classes in Wales. I think we started Bhagavad-gita in Wales, and now in East Sussex. So we take the path of Bhakti Yoga, but the first step in Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti means devotion. And the 12th chapter of Bhagavad-gita is Bhakti Yoga. But the first step, that's Suvarnalata, let her in. The first step, obviously, Karma Yoga, the yoga of activity. So all of us would do something, we're engaged in something, and we, in this process of yoga, try to engage our work in the service of Supreme, to try to dedicate our work to the Supreme. And when we start dedicating our work, first we have material desires, that is Sakama Karma Yoga. Sakama means with material desires. So then later we get purified and also material desires go. So therefore it is called then Nishkam Karma Yoga. So from the very beginning of Bhagavad-gita, you remember Arjuna was on the battlefield and Krishna gave him advice. So Krishna started speaking to him. Practice Nishkam Karma Yoga. Means practice dedication of your activities without any expectation in exchange. So first of all, you have to, Haribol, sit down. First of all, you have to understand that everything belongs to the Lord. As we were speaking yesterday in the woods, we were by the big fire in the woods yesterday, and those who started watching our broadcast, soon it broke down, but we mentioned that verse, and also one person asked a question at the end, what do you do for the world, what do you do for the peace in the world? So at the end of Nishkam Karma Yoga section of Bhagavad-gita, chapter 5, Karma Sannyasa Yoga, then Krishna says, Bhaktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam shantim gyatvamam shantim richati. So one who understands that I am Bhakta, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices, I am the enjoyer of all, of everything. One who understands that I am the controller of all the planets, all the universes, all that be, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. And those who understand that I'm all living entities, residing in each and every heart as Paramatma Supreme, those people achieve peace. And what you can do in complete peace, and then you'll become not only peaceful, but rasika, filled with uncommon taste, amazing taste. Then you'll really become rasika Vaishnava, a great, great devotee, relishing the supreme taste. So, Bhaktaram yakyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatvamam shantim richati. So then, that's the last verse of 5th chapter. And then 6th chapter starts, which is called Dhyana Yoga, Yoga of Meditation. I was preparing a big class on that subject today, thinking that there will be 10, 15 yogis sitting, but no, only friends and friends of friends. So anyway, it's very good for us also. So we were speaking also those days, and maybe Maria heard about a yoga ladder. There's a ladder of yoga. And so all yogas being taught Krishna to Arjuna in Bhagavad-gita, there are 8 yogas. So they constitute a ladder. All is happiness. Happiness means prema, means divine love. So without gradual ascending, it is sometimes quite difficult to become a yogi. So we have to take up gradual process. So Gurudev was warning us, don't jump on the top of the tree. If you want to jump on the top of the tree, then you will experience great pain, falling and go to hospital or something. So you have to step by step, because there are branches you can take shelter of. And the main branches are four types of yoga. So the first type we mentioned, that is karma yoga, or yoga of activity, of dedication of your activity to the Supreme. That is the red, thread in the Bhagavad-gita, red line. So around that red line, everything is growing. So that's like a blood vessel, The blood vessel, the main bloodstream is going, yes. So all natural elements are going towards Bhakti tree. So that is Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga. So in the course of practicing Nishkam Karma Yoga, naturally and inevitably, you'll get jnana, a lot of knowledge. So from knowledge, from jnana actually, so that is the first step of jnana. And it's very good. First we know theoretically, any new devotee can go with books in the street and say, we're not the body, we're the soul, and it's true. So people hear that and they are, oh, really? Oh, I have to read that. Some of them will become interested. So that boy or girl knows that theoretically. But then, after, jubilantly reciting again and again, I'm not this body, I'm not this body, then you have to go deeper, what that really means. What that really means. So that knowledge have to become, jnana has to become vijnana, means realized knowledge. In the process of hearing, chanting, and remembering, those processes constitute bhakti, proper bhakti. So the word bhakti, bhakti means pure devotion, and also on our poster that was bhakti yoga, means the yoga of devotion. So devotion is a wonderful palace, but it stands on at least those two, karma yoga and jnana yoga. And when you practice bhakti, then automatically you practice these two. Somebody asked me the question, how about jnana yoga? How about karma yoga? How do we practice them? Well, in the process of bhakti, that is included. Also, the one I mentioned, another one of the four, dhyana. Dhyana means meditation. Dhyana yoga, D-H-Y-A-N-A. So that dhyana means meditation. So we practice that organically. It's included within bhakti. So when we live our life, everyday life, we practice karma yoga. First sakam, then we, criticize ourselves. You're again desirous of enjoying the results. I was giving that example of a person having an apple garden. So many apple trees. 20% he or she gives to the temple. But I want to enjoy. Also, I want to be glorified as a big donor and such Prabhu ki jai, so garlands and all those things. So, but then he catches himself at the thought and thinking that, oh no, I have to be more and more nishkama. But nishkam karma yoga is quite a high level, actually, high level. But that is a characteristic feature of bhakti, nishkam karma yoga. So then jnana. We hear so much. First, we have to hear from the pure source, from the pure lips of a bona fide spiritual master. We have to hear. After hearing, we have to read. We have to try to understand. Who is Krishna? Who am I? What is the jiva? Jiva, no living entity. What is Maya? What is illusion? What is bhakti? What is devotional service? What is divine love? Bhava, prema. What is the path? We have to know those things. So that is called jnana. We escape the knowledge of impersonal absolute, this white light we don't want. Many yogis want to enter. Many jnanis want to enter, but we don't. We want to experience rasa, or spontaneous love for the Lord, ecstatic, unbelievably sweet, and with the Lord, which is eternal, on the base of your constant ecstasy, which is called sthayi bhava, constant ecstasy. 5 rasas, 5 types of relationships with the Lord. Neutral. Well, neutral mostly, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, jnanis and yogis are experiencing neutral. Then servant and master, servitorship. That relationship already has so much mamata, or sense of possessiveness. Then friendly, you can play with the Supreme Lord as with your friend. He will be equal to you. You will feel equal to him. You can play games, and if he loses, then he will have to carry you as a horsey on his shoulders. And you will go, come on, yo! Faster, faster. Yes. So this vishramba, or closeness, being equal, is very prominent at that stage. Then you can become the father and mother of the Lord, like that relationship, a senior. You can chastise him. Hey, don't do that. Again, you're stealing butter. Shame on you. Krishna is butter thief, makkan chor. Krishna is stealing butter. He's very, very naughty, Krishna. Oh my God, he's so naughty. But he's teaching all the world Bhagavad-gita. Here you go. But in his childhood, he's a naughty boy, butter thief, makkan chor. So, and finally, loving relationship in the mode of a beloved, a gopi. Gopi means cowherd girl. Also, many varieties. There are wives. Krishna has wives. Prince. And Ramachandra has Sita. So many heroines. In Vaikuntha planets, he's Narayana, and there are so many Lakshmis. serving him. So in many, many planets, like Lakshmi Narayana, Lakshmi Nrisimha, etc., many, many. Lakshmi Varahadev, always Lakshmi by his side. So that is loving relationship. So Krishna loves being chastised by the gopis much more than he likes listening to choice stavas and studiums, prayers of personified Vedas. Om Swaha. Okay, I accept that. His heart is not captivated, not controlled by that. But the residents of Goloka Vrindavan, the highest planet there in spiritual world, can control Krishna completely. So that is bhakti. Experience rasa. But the structure of Bhagavad-gita is such that that is the ladder of yoga leading to bhakti rasa. So the sweetest fruit is on the top, but we have to be climbing gradually. But while we're climbing, already we can smell the aroma of the fruit. It's so aromatic. Some fruit is so aromatic, we can, like fresh mangoes, we can already feel the smell while climbing, So yoga practitioner is that greedy person, greedy, want to reach the tree, and I have full faith that very soon I'll be able to reach the top. But I have to come through the intermediary stages. So the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad-gita constitute analysis of karma yoga. The last chapters from 13 to 18, jnana yoga, yoga of knowledge. And the medium 6, bhakti yoga. Probably we'll be speaking about that tomorrow, but bhakti yoga chapters, the logical end of all the cycle, because we started Bhagavad-gita. And the last 6 chapters, mostly dhyana yoga and analysis of the 3 modes of nature. 3 modes of nature. Sattva, rajas, tamas, goodness, passion, ignorance. So many phenomena analyzed according to those 3. And then ecstatic conclusion of the next chapter is surrender unto me, or Arjuna. So give up all other responsibilities and surrender unto me. But these 6 we have to know very, very diligently, because very, very often practicing devotees neglect Nishkam Karma Yoga. Although this is the, what's it called? The technical detail, the metal, the inner metal rod, the metal of the construction. Yeah, no, within the pillar, there's one construction, So on that rod, metal rod, the whole construction is holding, actually. If without that pillar, everything will collapse, because cement is not enough. There must be some very, very strong material inside. So that strong material is Nishkam Karma Yoga. Without Nishkam Karma Yoga, we cannot really practice bhakti. So that is self-dedication. And today we'll hear about 6th chapter. That is how to meditate, how to perform dhyana yoga. So more or less, in the beginning of every chapter, Arjuna is still hesitant to fight, more or less, like he understands theoretically he has to fight. Arjuna is told by Krishna constantly, you have to fight in every chapter, fight, especially first 6. But Arjuna is still on that side. From that side I want to hear, and more I want to hear. So then through Arjuna, Krishna is speaking to so many people about many different types of yogas. And many people, they see their own ideal in Bhagavad-gita. Jnanisi jnana, karmisi karma. You can talk to any ordinary Indian in the street, and they'll say, oh, Bhagavad-gita, I know, yes. Dharma, this is dharma. And what is dharma? Dharma is karma. Karmachari, I'm karmachari. We say, I'm brahmachari. Oh, I'm karmachari. Karmachari means I'm a worker. And my duty is to work. According to Bhagavad-gita, do your duty. Krishna is saying to Arjuna, do your duty, so they understand the karma. So I was speaking yesterday, this is called Sukshmadarshi people. So, I'm sorry, Stuladarshi. Stuladarshi means those with a gross power of distinction, only gross, only external meaning they recognize. Certainly that is also for them, but it's quite gross, So, for example, you see a scientist, a poet, and you only see his body, like, oh, he's too fat, or he's too thin, like this. Why is he so pale, like this? Because working day and night, that's why a bit pale, don't pay attention, see what he's done, like this. So that's why Bhagavad-gita sometimes not understood by Stuladarshis, by those who see only external. So actually internal vision is called Stuladarshi, or subtle power of distinction. So those people are Gyanis or Bhaktas. So those who are Gyanis, they say, oh, I have to melt with the Supreme Brahman, with this light, okay? So what do you think, Marina? What is the Supreme goal? To melt with the impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord, or experience direct association with him as a person? What do you find?
Go above, go beyond that.
Yes, go beyond that. Absolutely, you're right, absolutely. It means you're a devotee in your heart. You're a devotee in your heart. So it means that you have potentially great love, but it has to be developed now in a scientific way. So this science we're just now studying. So in Ishopanishad, there's one verse, oh Lord, please remove your blinding effulgence coming from your body and show me yourself as you are. It's very, very vividly expressing that. So we want personal association. But, so Arjuna is asking at the beginning of each chapter, so shall I fight or shall I go and meditate? At the beginning of third chapter, he's asking. At the beginning of fourth chapter, he's asking. Like this. So what, shall I? You're speaking about Buddhi Yoga. At the end of second chapter, Krishna speaking Buddhi Yoga. No, the yoga of intelligence means you have to become Sthita Pragyamuni, remember? In Conway we were discussing in our class, which was for devotees. So Sthita Pragyamuni means a sage, wise man with an unwavering intelligence, one-pointed intelligence. That's it. So, maybe I have to give up fighting and go and sit and meditate and become one-pointed as a sage. No, Arjuna. You have to fight. And now Krishna scientifically answers his question, which is, again, Arjuna asking. So, those who are performing Nishkam Karma Yoga, Krishna is saying, those who are working for the Supreme without the expectation of the results, without the desire of enjoyment of those results, are actual yogis. Arjuna, don't feel any doubts, but if you continue fighting, you will be a yogi. In order to be a yogi, you don't have to give up your occupational duties. What are your occupational duties? To fight. So fight. All right. Everybody has to follow this occupational duties. So at the beginning of chapter 18, at the end, same story, finalizing. Arjuna again asking question. Arjuna asked 16 questions in the course of Bhagavad-gita. So some of them were mentioned, but many of them are about to fight or not to fight, to be or not to be. So Krishna definitely saying to be, to fight, because this is yoga. So he's saying here that karma sannyasa is the same of karma yoga. Karma sannyasa means renunciation of work is the same as continuation of work without attachment. Nishkam karma yoga and sannyasa yoga are the same. How the same? Krishna is explaining. There are two types of yogis on the stage of renouncing the attachment to sense objects. The first one is called yoga rurukshu. And the second one is called yoga rudha. So those who are yoga rurukshu are gradually coming from Nishkam Karma Yoga or disattach themselves from the results of work and dedicate that to the Supreme. And those who are Yoga Rudha, they are naturally possessing the quality of controlling their senses. And they are having no attachment to the results of work whatsoever. Already they are on the platform of natural renunciation. In the same way, at the beginning of chapter 18, Krishna is using two terms, renunciation and detachment. So renunciation is yoga rudha, means that level on which you naturally have no attachment to the results. You're already there. For example, now we don't eat meat. We're on a platform that meat for us is something awful, obnoxious. We don't even can smell. We cannot even smell that smell, or alcohol or anything, drugs. We have no attraction. Some people are victimized by that, and it's very important for health. How can you? Your country is very vegetarian, but if you go down, Siberia and things, you live in Siberia, you must eat meat. How come you not meat? Like this. I saw one poster, advertising meat production, You live in Siberia, you must eat meat. So those people, you can move a bit further. Okay. Those people who have natural from meat, alcohol, and all those, we have no reason, to go there again. When you're in secondary school, you may be a bit attached to kindergarten, but when you're a university student, kindergarten, you just forget. Okay, that was 20 years ago. That's a completely different life span, period. So we don't look there. But some people are attached. Actually, 99% of people are like this. So they're karmis. We're all karmis, means we're working. We're doing that. Who are you and what do you do? Two questions. Mr. John, a teacher, builder, a soldier, sailor, anyone. So we say, okay, so now he becomes Bhakta teacher, Bhakta soldier, and Bhakta builder. Yeah, so that's like a label. So he becomes, in that way, Yoga Rurukshu, means he's practicing yoga, but he is doing Nishkam Karma Yoga and experiencing a gradual growth of his detachment, like this, until he completely dedicates himself to the Supreme. So Krishna is putting here the sign of equality between Yoga Rudha and Yoga Rurukshu, between Nishkam Karma Yoga and natural Karma Sannyasa, like this. Many terms, but the idea you understand. So two levels, those who are naturally renounced and those who are doing gradual detachment. So this gradual detachment, actually Krishna is recommending to Arjuna, not even recommending, just telling him, you do, you fight, and be under my guidance. Be under my guidance, because Krishna is the charioteer of Arjuna, right? And who is the charioteer according to that scheme? Intelligence, because the horses, the chariot is the body, the horses are the senses, the reins is the mind, intelligence is the charioteer, chariot driver, and the person who is in the chariot is the soul. So the soul, having spiritual intelligence in the form of Krishna, consciousness, right, is very, very nicely throughout the, how to say, surface of the road, life road. Yeah, sometimes like today on the way here, all of a sudden, with all of our, books and things. So we have to have a very nice driver. So our driver today experienced enough. But Krishna is super experienced driver. He's super experienced chariot driver, and he's ideal. He's got himself. So that's why Arjuna is in complete safety, right? So Krishna is saying, a man must deliver himself from the material world through mental detachment and not allow the mind to degrade him, for the mind is simultaneously one's friend and also one's enemy. There are some classical verses here. So it's all about the mind. You know? People who are very mental, they end up in mental hospital, mental lunatic asylum, because the mind is super active. When a child is super active, he climbs the wall in 5 seconds, you cannot hold him. He can walk on the wall. And a ceiling, what to speak the wall. You cannot catch him, he's already on the ceiling. Like this, one circle, 5 seconds. Cannot catch. So the mind is like this. So Gurudev was saying humoristically, without passport, without visa, traveling all over the universe. Even on the path of bhakti, Gurudev was joking with us and chanting my mantras, you know. Grihastha, you know. My wife has left me. My wife has left me. Thinking about some other things. So the mind is traveling. Mind is traveling. So the mind can be the friend, the mind can be enemy. For living entity who has conquered the mind is his friend. For those who had conquered these senses, the mind works against him, just like an enemy becomes an enemy. Mind becomes a demon. So the yogi who is in control of his mind is free from both attachment and aversion to the dualities of heat and cold, happiness and misery, honor and dishonor. The mind of such a yogi is deeply absorbed in trance. Deeply absorbed in trance. Like a arrow maker. This is an example from 24 Gurus, I think. Srimad Bhagavatam. An arrow maker was absorbed completely in making an arrow, a new arrow. And the king's procession went by, very noisy, with all types of musicians, you know, trumpets and drums and elephants, and people were kijai, 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 flowers, everything. He didn't notice anything. He was totally absorbed in making an arrow, one-pointed. So somebody asked him, oh, have you seen the king's procession? No. Have you heard the noise? No. How come? I was making my arrow. Like this. So when we're like this, definitely we'll achieve perfection of yoga, perfection of bhakti. So once Drona, when he was teaching both Pandavas and Kauravas, Arjun, you know, his 4 brothers, and the opposite side, the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra headed by Duryodhana. So he was teaching them archery. And he was asking, I don't remember who was first, do you see, what do you see? Tell me, what do you see? I see that, okay, so the condition of the task was to hit the eye of the fish, which was on top of the tree. He asked the first disciple, what do you see? Do you see the tree? Yes. Okay, sit down. Next one. Do you see the tree? No. What do you see? I see the leaves. Okay, thank you. Sit down. Now, Arjuna, you. Do you see the tree? No. Do you see the leaves? No. Do you see the branch? No. Do you see the fish? No. What do you see? I see the eye. Oh, not fish, the bird. I'm sorry. Sadhu Maharaj, welcome to East Sussex from Wales. Okay, so the bird, that was the bird. Eye of the bird. Do you see the bird? No. Do you see bird's feathers? No. What do you see? I see the eye of the bird. That's it. I see the eye of the bird. So that is called Sthita Pragya Muni, or the person with unwavering intelligence. So the mind of such a person is best friend. Best friend. So such is a yogi. Being free from desire, the yogi, while residing alone in solitary place, controlling his mind and body, rejecting sense objects, absorbs his mind in trance. And then a long story here, how a yogi meditates. He puts deer skin on an asana, not too low, not too high. You know, especially in former times, there were kings who were protecting the yogis, meditating sages in the forest from wild, from many dangers, keeping the neck and head erect, steady, maintaining celibacy. Such a yogi is always absorbed in meditation on the supreme truth, in Krishna. So, thus, yoga is discipline of the mind. One who is always pecking, sense object of this lifetime is not a yogi. Those who come to a yoga studio once a week, twice a week, and then watch TV and eat all kinds of stuff, not yogis at all. It's, I don't know, people concerned with their health maybe, but not yogis. So, thus yogi will come to the platform of experiencing complete bliss within his heart, within himself, and experience ananda, or bliss, and samadhi, or trance. Sama means same root, and dhi means intelligence. So his intelligence will experience samadhi, or absorption in the self. Means real self, means the soul, and contact with the super soul, and then gradually spiritual body and the activities of spiritual body. So that is the highest point of bhakti yoga, which is the top of this yoga ladder. Press very strongly. So, such a peaceful yogi who sees everything in connection with the Supreme and who is free from dualities such an attachment, aversion, or the mode of passion, attains supreme bliss in the form of self-realization. In this way, by continuous practice, a sinless yogi gradually makes the self steady in yoga and easily attains supreme bliss in the form of Brahma realization. Brahma technically means impersonal, but we say Parabrahma means Krishna, means personal aspect. Becoming liberated from material existence even while in the present body. So speaking in the language of bhakti, this is bhava bhakti. This is ecstatic condition of bhakti yoga. He who is absorbed in yoga perceives all beings with equal vision, sees the self in all beings, and sees beings situated in the self. It's a very great level of bhakti, which is called the Uttama Adhikara, or the highest qualification. A perfected Vaishnava, a devotee of the Lord, has no enemies. He doesn't see enemies. He can see each soul engaging in particular service of the Supreme Personality. That's it. He sees nothing gross, only spiritual essence in every heart. That may be a great miscreant, a great evil person. A saint will not see external. He will see, oh, this is a great devotee, actually, potentially. So, Jaiva Dharma, a great book, says in one place that gradually all of conditioned souls will go to spiritual world, sooner or later. Great demons also. It depends. There may be some exceptions. Those who want to melt Krishna's body, Ishvara Sayuja, they may get stuck. Anyway, mostly they will go. So, that yogi who worships me, in whom all beings take shelter with non-dual intelligence, being free from the conception of dualities, both during the stage of practice, sadhana, and the stage of perfection, siddha, dwells exclusively in me in all circumstances. So, O Arjuna, always be yogi. Krishna is saying, always be a yogi, like this. So then Arjuna was listening to this, and he was still thinking, I'm a warrior, Oh Arjuna, oh Krishna, I cannot really follow the yoga you've described. Yo yam yogastvaya prakta samyena madhusudana etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvat stithim stiram chanchalam himana Krishna pramathi balam dhridham tasyaham nigraham manye vayur iva sadushkaram. Oh Krishna, the mind is so much unstable by its nature, restless, powerful, obstinate, and capable of completely overpowering the intelligence. So body and senses seems to be difficult to control the mind even more than to control the wind. You try to control the wind, you can shout to the wind, by logic and arguments, "Oh wind, it's not good that you're blowing like this. See the power of destruction, you've harmed so many people and buildings that the wind will not listen. Get away." Like this. So the mind is so powerful, can overcome intelligence, can overcome the senses, can overcome everything. Dhyato Vishayam Putsam, we were saying those things. But I'll repeat for Maria especially. So there's a chain of a very sad succession of events in this material world when you become victimized by the object of the senses, when your mind goes crazy. Dhyato Vishayan Pumsam Sangastesha Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kaman Kamad Kroda Bijayate Kroda Bhavati Sammoha Sammoha Smriti Vibrama Smriti Bramshat Buddhinasha Buddhinasha Pranashyati. So by meditating on the objects of the senses, you develop attachment to them. Through that attachment, lust develops. When you're attached to something, then you become, addicted. That is called lust. Through lust, anger becomes prominent, because if you are deprived of your favorite, bottle or something, you become crazy of anger and you break all the other empty bottles, That's it, figuratively speaking. Then, by anger, delusion comes. You become lost, what to do, what not to do, and then your intelligence is lost. Buddhinasha. So when intelligence is lost, you're again thrown into the ocean of material existence. So that is the degradation of the soul. So to escape that, one has to be practicing yoga. So Krishna is saying, when Arjuna is complaining about the nature of the mind, how to discipline. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Asamshayam Mahabaho Mano Durnidgham Chalam Abhyasana to Kauntiya Vairagyana Chidyati. So by practice and renunciation, or Arjuna, Abhyasa and Vairagya. Abhyasa means practice. Abhyasa, discipline. Again and again and again you discipline yourself. For example, when you come, don't pay attention. Try to become arrow makers. What they're doing, we have just 20 minutes. Let them dance, let the king come, and we salute and we continue. No problem. So we respect that's anything. But we're doing our thing. So, by abhyasa and by vairagya. Abhyasa means practice, constant practice. And vairagya, renunciation, comes through constant practice. It's difficult to wake up in the morning early. Like you come to Hare Krishna, and Hare Krishnas are waking up God knows when, sometimes 5 or 4 o'clock, and go for Mangala, go to shower, like not cold but cool, let's say shower, and then go to Mangalarati, the first service. Do puja, By the way, welcome tomorrow morning, 5:30. We'll be doing Mangalarati day after tomorrow also. So in the village of Ramakrishna and Lavanya Mai. So anyway, but by abhyas, we'll try to do abhyas tomorrow morning, day after tomorrow morning. Abhyas. Abhyas means practice. Discipline. We'll try to do discipline together. So discipline is very essential, boys and girls. By discipline, you can become renounced from the object of the senses, because we like Rajagun, we like Tamagun, we like passion, we like ignorance, we like some very wonderful party, movies, and then ignorance, go to sleep till 10 o'clock. That's how people live, unfortunately, very unhealthy. So this is a yoga place, healthy place of health. So that's why we're studying these things. So abhyas. By training, it's the proper word, training, new set of habits will come. Very, very good habits. So those good habits will invoke natural renunciation. As Krishna is saying, param drishta nivartante, by developing higher taste. Because what you achieve, when a common person will ask you, so you strange people wake up at 4:35, so what do you achieve? You say, higher taste we achieve. Higher taste. You try for a week at least to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra like for 2-3 hours non-stop after you wake up at 4:30, 5 o'clock. What you will get, see? You can write it on a paper, you know, in your diary, your observations, what you've achieved. And so a nice taste will come. And then try to oversleep, even on purpose, one day. And see how it goes. Without that taste, you do not expressed. All the day will be smeared with Rajaguna so much. You'll be sleepy all day. You'll be in separation with a good consciousness of constant chanting. You'll be lacking chanting. You'll be lacking yoga practice. You'll be lacking, you know, like this. So in my personal life, when I was really like off for some period, you know, certainly without I was a temple devotee, I was book distributor, I was doing things, you know, from this world, and it's quite boring, you know. I was attached to meditation. I chose another meditation, impersonal meditation, but it could not change. It could not make an analogy for practice of bhakti. That's why this practice, I know for sure, this practice is definitely best. This practice is so high, no other practices coming even close. So exalted the practice is. So, yeah, so abhyasa and vairagya, Krishna is saying. Discipline and natural renunciation. It is very difficult for one whose mind is not controlled to achieve self-realization through this yoga system. However, a person who has brought his mind under control and who strives with the proper means of constant practice and renunciation can attain perfection in yoga. This is my opinion, Krishna is saying. His own writing, you know, his own signature. That is really so. My opinion. So, Arjuna is so much caring actually about the destination of the whole humanity. After all, the Nara and Narayana, you know, Nara Narayana, Krishna and Arjuna. So Arjuna is saying, oh Krishna, what is the destination of an unsuccessful yogi who starts the process of yoga and with faith, but later due to circumstances, due to uncontrolled mind, he drops the process? What is his destination? Almighty Amra Arjuna, please know that such an unsuccessful yogi does not perish either in this world or the next, because, my dear friend, a person who is engaged in auspiciousness never attains unfavorable destination, so his path will never be lost. So before, Krishna was saying in one of the first chapters that on this path there is neither loss or diminution. Every step remains forever, like an internal bank. You put some amount, and that amount is completely different quality than anything in this material world. So a person who deviates after practicing yoga for a long time takes his birth in the home of yogis who are endowed with great wisdom. Such a birth is undoubtedly very rare in this world. Or they take birth in a family of wealthy people, or family of those who earn money easily and can provide for his needs, so that the yogi doesn't have to perform so many tasks as work, you know, sweating like anything. So he'll be provided with all facilities. So that is an unsuccessful yogi. So then, after spending a lot of time in planets of paradise, heavenly planets, he will return to this earth and take birth in a very pious family, in a spiritual family, one who constantly performs yoga, or here Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur translates bhajan of me, means my worship. With full faith, his mind incessantly attached to me is, in my opinion, the topmost of all yogis. He is topmost of all yogis. And by these words, Krishna finishes the 6 first chapters in which the foundation of the process of bhakti is given. So then later in chapters 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, he speaks about bhakti yoga, the transcendental process of bhakti yoga. And he, moreover, shows Arjuna his transcendental form by saying which Arjuna starts offering prayers. So there is no doubt for Arjuna that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he apologizes, saying that before I was calling you a friend, Sakka, in a very familiar way, but actually you're the Supreme Personality. Now I can see your mystic opulences, your supreme position. And then Krishna speaks Bhakti Yoga in chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga. Very short chapter, but everything is there. So the whole gradation of levels of Bhakti he's giving there. And then concludes by giving so much jnana at the end. And at the very end, he makes conclusion. So, Arjuna, have your doubts been eradicated? Are you ready now to stand up and fight? Oh yes, Krishna, I declare that I'm ready to obey you, and I'm ready for fight. My doubts are completely cleared, and I will be always following your instructions. So Krishna is declaring that give up all types of activities, give up all types of duties and surrender unto me completely. Practice Sharanagati, practice unconditional surrender. Man manabhava, mad bhakto, madhyaji mam namaskuru, mame vaishyati satyam te, pratijani priyosi me. It's the most important verse of Bhagavad-gita, this one. Man manabhava means always think of me. Mad bhakto, become my devotee. Madhyaji, worship me. And mad namaskuru, offer obeisances to me. So Arjuna said, sorry, I cannot be always thinking of you because I'm a warrior. I cannot become your devotee also because I have to kill the enemies. I cannot worship you because I'm not a pujari, I'm a warrior. I'm not a priest, I'm a warrior. Okay, so offer obeisances. So Arjuna already offered obeisances when he saw the universal form, and at the end also again and again is saying, oh Krishna, you are my master. And then he was bravely fighting. Arjuna was saying long ago, he said to Draupadi that everybody will be killed, but not you and your husbands. Your husbands will remain after the battle of Kurukshetra, so they were protected anyway. Krishna told Arjuna, they're all died according to my plan. So they've already dead. So you can be not fighting. It's your choice, but better fight. Better fight. It's natural. So finally, Krishna totally accepts Arjuna's will. So Srimad Bhagavad-gita ki jai, Shri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga ki jai, Paramaraditam Guru Padma ki jai, Jai Guru Premanande Hari Hari Om. So this is our second unexpected class for mostly devotees. But although it was supposed to be for new people, but new people made some other choice who were not sufficiently informed. I don't know what the case was. Anyway, so was happy that we could speak a bit more deeply. And Bhagavad-gita, please excuse my, disobedient tongue today because we're driving all over the country from Wales to reach you here. So tomorrow we'll have our last class during this UK tour in Fair Warp. So Fair Warp Village Hall, also a famous hall. Many thanks for Jessica because she organized these meetings, and we first met her in this very building, which was not refurbished at the time, 5 years ago, I think, 5 years ago. So 4.5 years ago. So if you have any questions for discussion, most welcome. We have 7 minutes for last kirtan. We can sing one bhajan because we didn't sing any bhajan today, so we'll sing some bhajan. I think Sharanagati bhajan of surrender. If you have any questions, most welcome. Those devotees online, if you have questions, you may ask. Nitai Gaur Primande Hare Hare. So we can sing that song we sang in Conwy, Atma Nivedana. We can sing again, Atma Nivedana, surrender of one's soul.
208. Page 208.
Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, having submitted my soul at your feet, I am supremely elated. Sorrow is banished and no anxieties remain. I see only bliss in the four directions. Your 2 lotus feet are reservoirs of nectar and bestow freedom from lamentation and fear. Now, by taking refuge in them, I have given up fear of worldly existence. I shall serve in your household, never partaking of the fruits of my labor. I shall diligently tend to your satisfaction only, being fully dedicated to your feet. In the course of serving you, whatever difficulties may come are indeed the topmost joy. The pains and pleasures of service to you are the greatest assets. They destroy the misery of nescience. I have completely forgotten my past history due to experiencing the joy of service to you. All I know is that I am yours and you are mine. What need is there of any other treasure? Bhaktivinoda, submerged in the ocean of bliss, devotes all efforts in the service to you and dwells in your house according to your wishes. Atmanivedana Tuvapade Kori Oyano Paramasuki Dukkha Dure Gelo Chinnarahilo Jodike Ananda Atmanivedana Tuvapade Kori Dukkha Chodike Ananda Deki Chodike Ananda Deki Tamma Paramasuki Chodike Ananda Deki Ananda Deki Oyno Paramasuki Ashoka Bhaye Amritaya Dara Tomara Charana Dvaya Tahare Kona Vishramalabhya Chadino Bhavera Bhaya Ashoka Bhaya Amritaya Dara Tomara Charana Tahate Kona Vishramalabhya Chadino Bhavera Bhaya Chadino Bhavera Bhaya Charino Bhavera Bhaya Tomara Charana Daya Charino Bhavera Bhaya Charino Bhavera Bhaya Tomara Charana Tomara samsare koriba sevana nahiba phale ragi tava sukha jane koriba jatana hoye pade anuragi samsare koriba sevana nahi kare bhagi hari bhajatan ay pade anuragi ay pade anuragi ay pade anuragi nahi bhopalera bhagi oye pade anuragi oye pade anuragi nahi bhopalera bhagi tomara sevaya dukahaya jito Seoto paramasa seva dukkha sukha dukkha paramasampadam nashaye avidya dukkha sevaya dukkahaya jato seoto paramasukha Seva sukha dukkha paramasampada Nashaya vidya dukkha Purva itihas Bulina sakala Seva sukha peye mane Amito tomar tumito amar Kika jaya paradhane Purva itiha Pulina sakala Seva sukha peya mane Amita tomar tumito amar Kika jaya paradhane Nikija paparadhane Kika jaya paradhane Seva sukha peya mane Kika jaya paradhane paradhane Seva sukha peya mane Bhakti vinoda anande dubya Tomara sevara tare Sab cheshta kare Tava icha mato Takiya tomara ghare Bhakti vinoda anande dubya Tomara seva kare Sab cheshta kare Tava icha mato Takiya tomara ghare Takiya tomara ghare Takiya tomara ghare Tomara Mara Sevaratare Akiyato Mara Tare Akiyato Mara Tare Akiyato Sevaratare Atmani Vedana Tuvapade Kori Oino Paramasuki Dukadure Gelo Chintanara Hilo Jadike Ananda Deke Atmani Vedana Tuvapade Kori Oino Paramasuki Dukadore Gelo Chintanara Hilo Jodike Ananda Deki Jodike Ananda Deki Jodike Ananda Deki Oyo Paramasuki Jodike Ananda Deki Jodike Ananda Deki प्रभु है प्रभु है Thakur Bhakti Vino Thakur Bhakti Vino Bhakti Vino Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Gora, Hare Bo, Hare Gaur Premanande, Jai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Om. Shrimad Bhagavad-gita ki jai, Shri Rupa Nuga Gaudiya Guru Varga ki jai, Paramaraj Guru Pad Padma ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Somebody wrote Srila Bhakti Jivan Janardana Goswami Maharaj ki jai, but we celebrated his disappearance yesterday in UK. In the eastern part of Europe and Russia, etc. It's today, so yes, Kijai, but we celebrated yesterday. Thank you very much. We really have no time for questions. We can discuss it, Prasad. Somebody has to go, so welcoming tomorrow, inviting you for the last program tomorrow, and at Swarnalatas with great pleasure. Thank you for inviting us for lunch. So, God Premanande.